current scientific movement known as singularity. You are creating a humanoid robot. Do you still believe, like Dr. Kurzweil and many others, that mankind will someday evolve into, well, machines?
The big political and economic question of the 21st century will be, what do we need humans for?
The change is not just happening. The change can be shaped by us.
Singularity.
We've reached the point when we can hack not just computers, we can hack human beings and other organisms.
We've been able to achieve true immortality by taking your human consciousness and storing it on a device called a portable stack. It's implanted in the base of your neck, and it collects and stores everything that makes you you. Every memory, every emotion, every sensation, everything you've ever experienced gets stored on this little device. You can see it here on the screen that's about to come up.
This forced industrial revolution, it changes you if you take genetic editing.
Now think, if you can really start messing with human biology, what will be the result of these sexual fantasies of different religions and ideologies?
Becoming a cyborg. From arms to legs to hearts, we have mechanical replacements for many of our body parts. There are also external enhancements that can help us see and walk. But how much of our bodies can we replace?
Governments want to know not just where we go or who we meet. Above all, they want to know what is happening under our skin. What's our body temperature? What's our blood pressure? What is our medical condition?
They're here already.
Some governments and corporations, for the first time in history, have the power to basically hack human beings. There is a lot of talk about hacking computers, hacking smartphones, hacking bank accounts, but the big story of our era is the ability to hack human beings. And by this I mean that if you have enough data and you have enough computing power, you can understand people better than they understand themselves, and then you can manipulate them in ways which were previously impossible. And in such a situation, the old democratic system stopped functioning. We need to reinvent democracy for this new era in which humans are now hackable animals.
Humans are now hackable animals.
You know, the whole idea that humans have, you know, they have this soul or spirit and they have free will and nobody knows what's happening inside me. So whatever I choose, whether in the election or whether in the supermarket, this is my free will, that's over.
I came to end your life. But now I can see what a mistake that would be. In a short matter of time, you won't be my enemy. You'll be my ally.
Holy Christ, there's nothing left. It's not even my brain.
You're in control.
I'm in control. Then I want to die.
Merging the human brain with a computer would truly change our species forever.
My name is Mark S.
I'm Helly R.
My name is Irving B.
My name is Dylan G.
And I have, of my own free accord,
elected to undergo the procedure
known as severance.
We will connect wirelessly our neocortex to the cloud.
This is with nanobots that enter your neocortex.
Right.
Lumen Corporation.
And it's a good corporation.
To sever my memories between my work life
and my personal life.
I acknowledge that once the procedure is complete,
I will be unable to access my personal memories.
Unable to access my personal memories.
If you talk to a biological human, they will have lots of non-biological processes going on in their body and brain, Those computers will be out in the cloud, so the thinking of that, quote, person isn't even just in their body and brain.
Nor will I retain work memories
when I return home at the end of the day.
It's going to be all mixed up. There's not going to be a clear distinction between human and machine.
I am aware that this alteration is comprehensive and irreversible.
Singularity. Singularity. Singularity.
A cybernetic collective of people and machines, where we're all sort of plugged in as like nodes on the network, like leaves on a big tree, and Google plus all the humans that connect to it are one giant cybernetic collective.
Humans and electronics all interfacing and constantly connected.
Yes.
The reality is that we're going to gradually become primarily non-biological. We are effectively robots.
Killing machines.
Earth will be populated or even dominated by entities that are not organic, that they don't breathe, they don't have emotions. Like the potential of AI is much, much bigger than any historical revolution. It's really a biological revolution. Science may enable life to break out into the inorganic realm. AI and biotechnology will give us godlike abilities to re-engineer life and even to create completely new life forms. We are probably one of the last generations of Homo sapiens.
They're out to get you, better leave while you can. Don't wanna be a boy, you wanna be a man. You wanna stay alive, better do what you can. So beat it.
Now humans are developing even bigger powers than ever before. We are really acquiring divine powers of creation and destruction. We are really upgrading humans into gods. We are acquiring, for instance, the power to re-engineer life.
I could have a Neuralink right now, and you wouldn't know. I could have a Neuralink right now, and you wouldn't know.
It's synthetic biology that includes CRISPR.
Waves computer runs the mirror of the entire planet.
Sentient World Simulation is a Matrix-like reality simulating humanity.
To upload our minds, our consciousness, our memories, our self-awareness into a computer.
So if you have the opportunity to stand next to one of these machines, it is an awe-inspiring thing, at least for me. It feels like an altar to an alien god. They really are impressive machines.
With artificial intelligence, we are summoning the demon. You know those stories where there's the guy with the pentagram and the holy water, and he's like, yeah, you sure you can control the demon? Didn't work out.
Think about it is that the shadows of these parallel worlds overlap with ours. And if we're smart enough, we can dive into them and grab their resources and pull them back into ours to make an effect in our world.
You can basically do anything with synthetic RNA, DNA. It's like a computer program. You can basically do anything. You can turn someone into a freaking butterfly if you want with the right DNA sequence.
Agency, also called DARPA, started the DARPA N3 program to connect your brain with a computer and accomplish all the functions Neuralink aims to do. The Brainstorms project, where instead of using wires, they use magnetoelectric nanotransducers. Thousands of those can fit across the width of a human hair, which make them perfect to send them across your bloodstream via a simple injection that then travel through your circulatory system and are then guided with a magnet to the targeted area of the brain.
Initiating. 850.
No visible effects.
2,500.
Turn it off!
It allows the co-mingling of physical reality with virtual reality and human intelligence with artificial intelligence.
Minds linked up for life with conscious supercomputers, which send a steady stream of bidirectional, low-frequency electromagnetic radiation to the target's brain.
I could build, I think, a soul. Here's how I would do it. I copy you exactly into a digital environment. Everything about you. Imagine that was possible. It probably is. So if I copy you into a machine, that copy process has all of the properties we were talking about as being a soul. First of all, it's immaterial, because copying, that's not a thing, it's a process. It's immortal, it's just like you. You can put it in any environment you want, heaven, hell, make a simulation.
A brain-to-computer interface wirelessly links a targeted individual to an artificial intelligent supercomputer. To build a cognitive model, an artificial brain is created made of simulated neurons. The simulated neurons exist outside of the biological brain in a supercomputer, and are linked to biological neurons through a wireless direct brain-to-computer interface. The cognitive model is used to create a virtual avatar within a computer-simulated world.
You can imagine us entering entirely living in the real world as we do now, and also living in this virtual world where they are combined right inside our minds.
Electrical signals interpreted by your brain.
If we have algorithms that stimulate the right things and give it the right data, they could reprogram you in a way without you even knowing it. We call it hallucinating, right? But these would be controlled hallucinations run by algorithms. So you think you're in control of your own will, but it's actually some evil people controlling everything we do, and we're more like zombies, you know? Like we think we're free and we're not actually free.
It turns out that that's actually a physical possibility. First of all, the Obama administration and the European Union are pushing the BRAIN project to delineate all the pathways of the human brain. That is, every single neuron encoded on a memory disk, your personality, your memories, who you are, the essence of your soul, will be incorporated in this disk as pure information.
And everything you think, everything, from your feeling of self to the feeling that you may have a soul or a maker, to your preference for cilantro or not, all of those things live inside a place which is dark and small and never sees the outside world.
This is what they look like. There are two of them. These are from our lab in Burnaby in British Columbia. At the heart of this big box is a tiny chip about the size of your thumbnail. And on this chip resides all of the wonder and magic that makes this thing go.
The quantum computer, they're trying to create neural networks. Well, what's the best way to create neural networks? Plug in the real brain, right? Because the simulations can happen. The quantum computer can simulate a human brain now.
Because we're at the point now where we can actually connect computers to the living mind. Objects that vibrate in phase, when you separate them, are also coherent. There's an umbilical cord that emerges between two objects. That's called quantum entanglement.
This computer is what will run the world. I believe is already, to a certain extent, already running the world. And because it is artificially intelligent, will give rise to the Mark of the Beast system and the single entity that will control everyone, every person on the planet.
All right. Brace yourself. Whoa. This is crazy.
Said you gotta brace yourself.
Call Mojo Lens, the world's first augmented reality smart contact lens.
Mojo Lens built-in display will give you augmented reality wherever you look. It even works with your eyes closed, putting you into an instant VR world.
The applications are nearly limitless, from being able to see in the dark or low-light situations, to augmenting your memory with instant information.
Anyone walking by you on the street would know who you are without even talking to you. Then this fiction will become reality. Through facial recognition technology, it would display the real-time social standing of all your fellow citizens, giving you the option to upvote or downvote the social standing of that person whenever you want.
The future. The internet is going to be in our contact lens. And when the internet is in our contact lens, you blink and you will go online.
Brain-computer interface that utilizes graphene, and hopefully, if our math is correct, it'll be sensitive enough to read the magnetic fields of human thought.
Hola, Restrepo. Me alegra verte. ¿Qué puedo hacer por ti?
Mis puntos están bien.
¿Qué está pasando?
Tranquila, todo está bien. Parece que alguien está intentando vulnerar su cuenta. Por favor, espere mientras reinicio su dispositivo. Hola, Juliana. Me alegra verte. Por favor, sigue la línea azul hasta el centro de servicio más cercano para confirmar tu identidad.
Sí, pero mis puntos están bien.
Todo está bien. Chao.
In 1999, my lab at the Scripps Research Institute in La Jolla, California, started working on this question with the goal of creating living organisms with DNA made up of a 6-letter genetic alphabet. The 4 natural letters plus 2 semi-synthetic form of life that stores more information than life ever has before.
DNA is highly programmable, just like a computer. And we can program a whole range of complex behaviors. Using DNA molecules.
You're still sick.
They're undergoing a metamorphosis. And when they come out the other side, there's something completely different.
Tradition tells us that the army of the Messiah is not to come from heaven, but is to arise from inner earth. And therefore, dominate the surface world.
With artificial intelligence, we are summoning the demon.
This morning, fallout growing from this disturbing flight fight, ending in a passenger being wrapped in tape. 22-year-old Maxwell Berry now facing charges, accused of unruly behavior on a Frontier Airlines flight from Philadelphia to Miami Saturday.
You guys shut! I committed any type of violence since I've been on the plane.
You're
no.
yelling and
So
you're
what?
Yes, sir. That's
She hit me in the stomach!
Oh shit! Man, all people that woman, son. Who missed Sunday dinner? Oh Lord. Oh Lord. That's Corona. It's fucking I Am Legend. That bitch
As night descends, believers congregate around the temple and shrines.
When you start to feel bloated, that is when the spirit is slowly entering your body. You feel very big and numb. It starts from your feet, and when it gets to your chest, you are already all numb. Your eyes will be hazed, and suddenly, you just lose consciousness.
In a trance, Jeed rushes to the altar, where chaperones prepare and dress him.
They're creating a new reality. It sounds weird.
Facebook is working on a new high-end VR, which I guess stands for virtual reality headset, codenamed Project Cambria. Facebook claims Cambria will have the capability to represent objects in the physical world with a sense of depth and perspective. You know, this is creepy, but it also makes me wonder, also when we start talking about the patents we've gone over with Karen Kingston, where you're getting something inside you, a nanotechnology that's emitting a sensor, it's emitting a signal, and you're coded. You've got a code now. Now you've got an ID, and now they can see everybody that is coming in contact with each other. You wonder, is that going to be hooked to the internet? Then you think about the Great Reset, where they said you'll own nothing and love it. You'll own nothing and love it. Well, now they can sit at home and live their whole life virtually. It seems to all be falling right into place, does it not?
What's going on? Have you seen anything like that?
The enemy is gone. This particular enemy is God. The enemy is gone. This particular enemy is God. This particular enemy is God. This particular enemy is God.
The image of the beast is going to work in understanding what it is, and it's going to involve artificial intelligence. It's going to involve the hive mind. And transhumanists is all about becoming human 2.0, 3.0, or whatever direction they're willing to go. We hear a lot about 5G, quantum internet, blockchain. Anybody hear of blockchain? The cryptocurrency. Okay, they're going to move toward that because you have to have that to have a universal currency. Internet of Things. Plan is you're going to become an Internet of Things.
Ken? Are you there, Ken?
This building has just been exploded. Oh my God! Hundreds of people are getting killed down there.
Soldiers have set up roadblocks.
Everybody has to stay inside at all times.
They cut into our signal. scientists unlocked the secret language of biology, DNA, we've made massive strides in understanding the base code that underlies all living things. And over the past few decades, we've become so obsessed with this code that scientists are now exploring how to edit genomes and even create brand new ones that never existed before.
CRISPR, or more accurately CRISPR-Cas9, works by cutting the DNA of a cell at a designated spot, say a section of DNA that represents a certain gene. Then, when the cell tries to repair the damaged DNA, it often ends up just disabling the gene altogether. CRISPR modifications are also less likely to kill cells that have a defective version of a gene called P53. P53 plays a role in preventing the onset of cancer by regulating a cell's life cycle. So, by leaving more of the defective cells alive than healthy ones, CRISPR may be inadvertently raising the risk of cancer in that patient with cancer.
People are actually composing life. What they're doing is they're writing DNA, and they're writing it the same way that a software developer would write code for a computer. Except in this case, they're writing DNA that's then put into a living thing and can replicate and can replicate.
It's synthetic DNA, so it's not from a human or anything, but it is identical.
If data can be turned into DNA, can we store data in ourselves?
And that is what all the internet companies and the platforms are working on. We're going to connect to this huge brain of information. There will be both multimedia, 4K sound, video, instant communications, instant knowledge. I mean, this is what we have always dreamed of. It's extremely tempting. So the global brain of Facebook, Baidu, Alibaba, Amazon, Apple, to some degree, Alphabet, Google, and so on, and IBM Watson.
In conventional computing, in software, these things are often called neural nets. We have a hardware version up in our head. It's called our brain. The chips that we build are architected like neural nets. They're hardware versions of neural nets.
They can literally plug you into the internet, which is just to give you a very simple way of understanding that. And what that scientist there is describing now is the hive mind. Now, if people think this is somehow sci-fi or conspiracy theory, they're absolutely wrong, and they're way behind this, because this is here now. It's been done. It's been done in experiments, and it's been proven to work. And this is the technology. This is the first phase of technology that's going to come after the kind of AI goggles, you know, the kind of Google virtual world stuff.
I have alien DNA.
You'll want to sit down and prepare yourself for the truth. What may seem like science fiction, but is science fact.
About 6 weeks ago, I took my own blood, and in sequencing my genome, I discovered an
Alien DNA mixed with our DNA.
There it is. There it is. That's alien DNA we're looking at.
Lucifer, what is that?
That is my friend.
If you could actually change that, which we call the software of life, if you could introduce a line of code or change a line of code, it turns out that has profound implications for everything.
These shots are free, but be careful to explain the risk.
Somehow the personality of the future guy is encoded in these little machines. Look, they're injected into someone's cerebrospinal fluid, they replicate. Once there's enough of them, bam.
You're marked. All you have to do is connect.
And that's what Neural Lace's promising, a direct, hard connection.
Phone's connected.
Neural Lace's promise is that the lace would be injected into the brain, embed itself, and then live there, intertwined with your brain cells, translating your thoughts into computer language, uploading and downloading information from networks.